early hours of December 26, 1996, 6-year-old JonBenet Ramsey was reported missing from her family's home in Boulder, Colorado. Just hours later, her body was discovered in the basement. Nearly 3 decades have passed, yet no one has been charged with her murder. The case remains one of the most mysterious and heavily scrutinized unsolved crimes in American history. This is the story of JonBenet Ramsey. JonBenet Ramsey was born on August 6, 1990, to John and Patricia Patsy Ramsey. She was the youngest of 2 children, living with her family in an upscale neighborhood of Boulder. JonBenet was a child beauty queen, competing in and winning numerous pageants. Her mother, a former beauty queen herself, was deeply involved in the pageant scene. By all accounts, JonBenet was a vibrant, outgoing child who enjoyed performing. December 26th began with a shocking discovery. At approximately 5:30 a.m., Patsy Ramsey claimed to have found a 2.5-page ransom note on the stairs, demanding $118,000 for JonBenet's return. The note was oddly specific. $118,000 was nearly the exact amount of John Ramsey's Christmas bonus that year. Patsy immediately called 911. Despite instructions not to contact police or friends, several people were summoned to the house, contaminating what would become a crucial crime scene. JonBenet was initially believed to have been kidnapped, but around 1 p.m., John Ramsey and a friend, Fleet White, discovered her body in a little-used basement room. She had been strangled with a garrote made from a paintbrush handle and nylon cord and suffered a severe head injury. The coroner's report revealed JonBenet died from asphyxia by strangulation associated with craniocerebral trauma. A stun gun mark was found on her body, along with evidence of possible prior sexual abuse. The time of death was estimated to be sometime between late night on December 25th and the early morning hours of December 26th. There was no sign of forced entry into the home. The basement window was broken, but it was an old break, and undisturbed cobwebs raised questions about whether anyone had used it to enter. The Boulder Police Department came under fire almost immediately for mishandling the case. Evidence was poorly preserved, the house wasn't secured, and the Ramseys were not formally interviewed until several months later. In January 1997, the Ramseys gave a televised interview, insisting on their innocence and stating they believed an intruder had killed their daughter. Despite this, suspicion continued to fall on them. John Ramsey, the father, was the president of a computer company. He found JonBenet's body. Patsy Ramsey, JonBenet's mother, was emotionally distraught and was the one who reported the kidnapping. Burke Ramsey, JonBenet's 9-year-old brother, was also in the house that night. He was questioned, but was not considered a suspect by police at the time. Detective Linda Arndt, the first officer on the scene, later stated she believed someone in the house was responsible for the murder. The ransom note is perhaps the most bizarre piece of evidence. It was written on a notepad from inside the house. Handwriting analysis failed to conclusively match it to either John or Patsy, though some experts suggested Patsy could not be ruled out. The note was unusually long for a ransom letter and contained strange phrases that mimicked lines from movies, like Dirty Harry. The language and tone seemed theatrical and contrived. The intruder theory suggests someone broke into the Ramsey home and killed JonBenet during a botched kidnapping attempt. Proponents point to the unidentified DNA found in JonBenet's underwear and under her fingernails, DNA that does not match any family members. A few suspects have been considered over the years, including a known pedophile and a former housekeeper, but none have been conclusively linked to the crime. The family theory suggests the Ramseys, either Patsy, John, or even Burke, may have been involved. One theory speculates JonBenet was accidentally killed, possibly by Burke in a sibling altercation, and the parents covered it up. However, Burke was cleared by DNA evidence and grand jury testimony. In 1999, a grand jury voted to indict John and Patsy for child endangerment and obstruction of justice, believing they covered up the true circumstances of JonBenet's death. However, the district attorney declined to prosecute, citing lack of evidence. In 2008, the Boulder district attorney officially cleared the Ramsey family, citing new DNA evidence. However, the case remains open. In 2016, CBS aired a controversial documentary that reignited the theory that Burke was involved, prompting him to file a $750 million defamation lawsuit. The case was later settled out of court. In 2022, police announced a renewed push to use advanced DNA testing techniques to reevaluate the evidence. As of now, no suspects have been arrested, and the mystery remains unsolved. Who wrote the ransom note, and why was it written inside the house? Why was JonBenet's body found hours later in an area previously unsearched? If the Ramseys were innocent, why did their behavior seem guarded and inconsistent? And what about the unidentified DNA? Does it belong to the killer? Despite decades of media coverage, books, documentaries, and internet speculation, no one has been held accountable for JonBenet Ramsey's death. Her case stands as a chilling reminder of how, even in the information age, justice can be elusive. JonBenet Ramsey should have grown up. She should have had the chance to live a full life outside of the pageant spotlight. Instead, her memory is haunted by controversy and unanswered questions. If you found this video informative, subscribe for more deep dives into true crime cases.